Keyla, at 42, felt the relentless tick of a biological clock and the judgmental whispers of society. Her friends were settled, mothers, living the lives she'd only seen on screens. Coming from humble beginnings, a millionaire husband wasn't just a dream, it was an escape, a promise of comfort for her aging, sacrificing parents. They'd given everything, even selling their only car, to fund a law degree she never pursued, believing it would secure her future. The truth was, she'd been chasing a different kind of security, one that came wrapped in expensive suits and private jets. Now, with the dazzling Rio, a business magnate by her side, Keyla was finally living the lavish life she'd always envisioned. Yet, a nagging unease persisted, a faint melody of a forgotten past. Keyla's parents, brimming with pride over her success, constantly spoke of their lawyer daughter to anyone who'd listen. The weight of her deception pressed heavily on her. Rio, a man of grand gestures and even grander expectations, was eager to meet them, and Keyla knew she couldn't postpone the inevitable confession any longer. She decided to spend a few days at her childhood home, hoping to soften the blow. The old neighborhood, a stark contrast to her new, opulent reality, felt both comforting and suffocating. As she braced herself for the difficult conversation, a moving truck pulled up a few doors down, and a new neighbor began to settle in. A peculiar sense of déjà vu washed over her, a flicker of a memory she couldn't quite place. The new neighbor, Magnus, was everything Keyla remembered. Kind eyes, a gentle smile, and an unassuming charm that belied a quiet strength. He was the man from that hazy, unforgettable night years ago, the one who'd inadvertently become a standard against whom all others fell short. She remembered the drunken exuberance, her clumsy attempts at flirtation, and his polite, almost shy, deflection. The memory, once mortifying, now brought a peculiar warmth. He was a constant topic of conversation with her parents, who praised his helpfulness and good nature. They spoke of him with such fondness, oblivious to the silent storm brewing within their daughter. Keyla found herself caught in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, her carefully constructed world teetering on the brink. Keyla's engagement ring, a blinding diamond, felt less like a symbol of love and more like a set of shackles. Her life with Rio was a meticulously curated display of wealth, designer clothes, exotic vacations, and exclusive parties. But beneath the glittering surface, a hollowness resonated. Rio's love felt transactional, his affection tied to her public persona as his elegant arm candy. She longed for genuine connection, for a love that wasn't measured in carats or square footage. Her visits to her parents, once infrequent and rushed, became more frequent, a desperate attempt to reconnect with a simpler time. Each call from Rio, demanding her presence at another high society event, was a painful reminder of the life she'd chosen and the unspoken sacrifices she'd made for it. The chance encounter with Magnus ignited a spark Keyla thought had long been extinguished. He was still the same gentle soul, his presence a stark contrast to Rio's forceful personality. Their polite exchanges felt charged with unspoken understanding, a sense of familiarity that transcended their brief, almost forgotten encounter. Keyla found herself drawn to his quiet strength, his genuine interest in her parents, and the way his eyes held a warmth she hadn't seen in years. The memories of that drunken night, once a source of humiliation, now felt like a premonition, a glimpse of a path not taken. She started finding excuses to linger around her parents' home, hoping for another glimpse, another fleeting conversation with Magnus. The weight of her deception became unbearable. After days of internal struggle, Keyla finally sat her parents down, the truth about her law degree a heavy stone in her throat. The confession was met with a stunned silence, then a wave of heartbreak and disappointment that cut deeper than any anger. Their sacrifices, their dreams for her, shattered before her eyes. The revelation about Rio, a millionaire who embodied the very success they'd envisioned, was a faint consolation. Their relief that she was taken care of was palpable, yet tinged with a lingering sadness. Keyla felt a profound sense of shame, knowing she had let them down, and the chasm between her past and present self felt wider than ever. Interrogated her about her days, her activities, and her interactions. Keyla felt herself suffocating under his scrutiny, the golden cage feeling more and more like a prison. The thought of a lifetime with Rio, once a dream, now felt like an inescapable nightmare. Keyla and Magnus's conversations grew longer, deeper. They spoke of dreams, regrets, and the elusive nature of happiness. she discovered his quiet intelligence, his thoughtful perspective on life, and a shared sense of humor that brought an ease she hadn't experienced in years. There was an undeniable connection, an unspoken current that flowed between them. He never made a when Rio, his patience worn thin, arrived unannounced at Keyla's parents' house. He strode in, his expensive suit a stark contrast to the modest surroundings, his eyes immediately falling on Magnus, who was helping Keyla's father with a repair. The air crackled with unspoken tension. Rio, in a thinly veiled attempt to assert his dominance, made pointed comments about Keyla's impending marriage and her bright future. Keyla, her heart pounding, felt a surge of defiance. In that moment, watching the two men, the choice became crystal clear. The thought of sacrificing her chance at genuine happiness, at a love that felt authentic and true, for a life of gilded misery, was unbearable. With a newfound resolve, Keyla made her decision. She confronted Rio, ending their engagement and shattering his carefully constructed facade of control. The ensuing scene was a maelstrom of anger and disbelief, but Keyla stood firm. She then turned to her parents, her voice trembling but clear, explaining her choice, not just to them, but to herself. It was a choice for love, for authenticity, and for a happiness that transcended material wealth. She found Magnus, her heart open and vulnerable, and for the first time in years, truly confessed her feelings. There were no guarantees, only hope, and the profound certainty that true fortune lay not in a millionaire's embrace, but in the possibility of a shared life with the man who had truly seen her. The final scene would show Keyla, not adorned in diamonds, but with a quiet smile, walking hand in hand with Magnus down a simple street, finally free and truly rich in love.